Do you ever find yourself second-guessing every decision, feeling like doubt is holding you back from the life you want? What if I told you that you have the power to silence that inner critic and trust yourself completely? In this video, we're diving into legendary teachings from Miyamoto Musashi that reveal how to destroy doubt once and for all and unleash unshakable self-confidence. Step 1. Reconnect with your core values. Knowing who you are and what you stand for is the first step in building trust. When you're having doubts, you need to get in touch with your core ideals, which are the things that guide you inside. Core values help you make decisions, keep you going when things aren't clear, and give you a sense of direction when doubt wants to take over. You can make good choices even when things aren't clear because you know what your values are. Miyamoto Musashi had a deep understanding of how important core ideals are. Honesty, discipline, and independence were important to him and shaped everything he did, from his fights to his way of life. Living by your ideals, according to Musashi, was a way to master not only the world around you, but also yourself. He taught that warriors should be steadfast in their views because that makes them stronger and more trustworthy. To get back in touch with your own values, start by writing down the traits that you respect or want to have. For instance, you could ask yourself, what traits do I want to be known for? What traits do I like about other people? What values feed my soul and keep me going? These questions will help you figure out what your values are. Honesty, kindness, resilience, or curiosity are things that some people value. For others, courage, kindness, or creativity are things that they value. There is no wrong answer because your beliefs are unique to you. After you figure out what your core values are, write them down and think about how they show up in your daily life. For instance, if you value honesty, think about how you treat other people and yourself when you are honest. If growth is important to you, think about whether the things you do and the way you behave now are helping you learn and grow. This practice helps you make sure that what you do every day is in line with what you believe, which builds self-trust and reduces doubt. It will be easier for you to make choices as you get closer to your core ideas. When we don't know who we are or what we believe in, doubt often starts to creep in. If you live your life in line with your core values, you can quiet that voice of doubt because you'll know that the decisions you make are based on values you believe in. Even if other people don't agree with you or the result isn't clear, acting on your values gives you strength and clarity. Musashi shows us that the only way to be truly strong is to always stand up for what you believe in, no matter what other people say. You build a strong sense of who you are when you make choices based on your values. This inner clarity makes you less dependent on outside approval and gives you the strength to face challenges. This makes getting back in touch with your values a powerful way to get rid of doubt and build self-trust that can stand up to the ups and downs of life. Step 2. Learn to embrace ambiguity. Ambiguity is something that most people try to avoid at all costs. As much as we want security, clear answers, and a clear way forward, life rarely gives us these things. It was very clear to Miyamoto Musashi because he had lived as a samurai and seen how unpredictable battles could be. To build self-trust, we need to learn to accept ambiguity. This helps us stop looking for comfort outside of ourselves and instead build a strong internal compass. Being okay with not knowing what will happen next lets us grow, be free, and be strong when life takes a turn for the worse. Accepting uncertainty doesn't mean you don't care about your plans or goals. Instead, it means realizing that you can't always control things and that things won't always go as planned. Musashi thought that the unknown in life was a chance to be flexible. When we learn to adapt instead of control, our minds become more flexible, which makes us strong enough to smile through any situation. You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain. Musashi said one time, we should be open to new ways, possibilities, and routes because of this wisdom. Think about having to make a choice when you don't have all the facts or a clear answer. When we're afraid of making the wrong choice, doubt starts to creep in. But when you accept ambiguity, You know that there might not be a right or wrong choice. Instead, there are just different roads that will lead to different experiences. This way of thinking frees you from doubt by focusing on the trip and the lessons you learn along the way instead of needing perfect answers. When things are uncertain, trusting yourself means knowing that you can handle the outcome no matter what road you choose. Starting small is one way to get better at accepting uncertainty. When you face problems without a clear way out, let yourself learn as you go. For example, don't push yourself to master a new skill or job right away if you're starting it. Instead, let yourself learn by making mistakes and watching what works and what doesn't. This way of thinking not only makes you more flexible, but it also trains your mind to be curious instead of critical. Every step you take that you're not sure of makes you stronger and teaches you to trust yourself in new places. When Musashi was alive, he was always in fights where the results were hard to predict. He went into every fight, though, not afraid of what might happen. He welcomed the unknown with open arms. You become more brave and sure of yourself when you learn to deal with uncertainty. You trust yourself to handle situations that are out of your control. You'll feel more grounded if you can accept that life is uncertain. You'll know that you can handle whatever comes your way with clarity and calm. When you're in this state, doubt goes away because you don't try to control every result. Instead, you trust that you can handle whatever comes up. Step 3. Act as if you already trust yourself. Musashi was known for being sure of himself and strong, which made him a tough opponent. He knew that the mind is an important part of any fight, and he was sure of himself even when he wasn't sure what would happen. In this step, you'll start to trust yourself even if you don't fully feel it yet. Acting like you're sure of yourself can help people get over their doubts and trust you. Imagine a time when you weren't sure what to do, like when you started a new job, learned a new skill, or had to make a tough choice. Think about what you would do if you had complete faith in yourself at that moment. How are you going to walk? What would you decide to do? You start a feedback loop in your mind when you act as if you already have strong self-belief. Your deeds support the belief, which makes you act with more confidence. Musashi stressed the idea of becoming more than just doing a lot. He thought that mastering oneself meant more than just getting better at something. It meant becoming the personification of discipline, power, and wisdom. Practice the art of becoming someone who trusts themselves totally, just like he did. Do what you need to do, even if you're not sure. Your mind will soon catch up with your deeds. By acting like you believe yourself, you build up an internal momentum that weakens doubt over time. This changes your mindset from one of doubt to one of inner confidence. Step 4. Reframe failures as learning experiences. Musashi thought that mistakes and setbacks were necessary to get good at anything. He had many problems and losses in his life, but he saw each one as a chance to learn and grow. We often doubt ourselves because we're afraid of failing, which makes us not want to take risks. But failures don't have as much power to make you question yourself when you see them as steps you can take instead of setbacks. Every mistake you make teaches you something useful that helps you get better. To begin, think about past failures without passing judgment on them. Ask yourself, what did this teach me? And how can I use this in the future? If you think of failure as a natural part of growth, you start to look at life with interest instead of fear. As Musashi said, we should see every loss as a lesson that teaches us how to get better. Musashi also believed in the idea of evolving all the time. He thought that someone who was a real master was always learning. By accepting this point of view, you build a strong base for your resolve. Instead of seeing loss as a sign that you're not good enough, see it as proof that you're trying new things and wanting to grow. Over time, this way of thinking will make you less likely to doubt yourself because you'll know that you're always going forward, even if you make a mistake. Step 5. Commit to daily self-affirmation. Musashi's lessons and life show that he was devoted to mental toughness and self-discipline. Making it a habit to support yourself every day can help you get rid of doubt. Positive affirmations are short, strong statements that can help you change the way you think so that you focus on your strengths instead of your flaws. You can build trust in yourself that lasts by telling yourself of your strengths on a regular basis. Say statements to yourself every morning that speak to you. Say something like, "I can handle any challenge," or "I believe in my gut." This daily practice protects you from bad self-talk and helps you believe in yourself. Musashi trained his mind in ways that were similar to how he trained his body, because he knew that the mind needs just as much work as the body. Self-affirmation works best when you do it every day. Just like Musashi trained his sword skills over and over again to get better, use affirmations as a regular part of your mental workout. You can write them down, say them out loud, or keep them in sight all day. Over time, your mind starts to take these lessons to heart, and doubt starts to lose its power over you. Self-affirmation may seem easy, but it's a strong habit that will help you trust yourself more and remember that you can handle anything. Step 6. Detach from the opinions of others. Musashi was known for being very independent and able to rely on himself. He often didn't follow what other people thought of him, and instead chose to live by his own rules and ideals. It's easy to fall into self-doubt when someone criticizes or judges us in a world where we are constantly exposed to other people's thoughts. One way to build unwavering self-trust is to stop caring what other people think and put your own judgment first. Even though input is useful, other people's thoughts don't define who you are or what you can do. Understand that everyone has a unique perspective on the world that is shaped by their own experiences and thoughts. Musashi thought it was more important to follow his own way than to get other people's approval. If you adopt his way of thinking, you can stop needing approval from other people. To practice detachment, you don't have to ignore all advice. Instead, you have to learn to listen to your inner voice. Think about what's important to you and what feels right for your trip. When you start to trust your gut, doubt goes away and you become more sure of the choices you make. Musashi shows us that real mastery comes from within. You can regain your power and build trust by putting your own judgment ahead of other people's. Step 7. Celebrate progress, not just perfection. Self-doubt is often caused by wanting to be perfect. Musashi's ideas teach us that becoming a master is a process, not a goal. Instead of trying to reach perfection, focusing on making progress and enjoying the trip can help get rid of doubt. No matter how small, every step forward and improvement should be praised. Don't just think about where you want to go. Think about your progress often and be proud of how far you've come. Celebrate the small wins, the lessons you've learned, and the strength you've gained along the way. Musashi's own journey was one of constant growth. He knew that to be truly masterful, one had to keep growing and not reach a point of no return. You learn to trust the process, and in turn, yourself when you put your attention on success. Each goal you reach boosts your confidence and makes you more sure of your skills. To become a better version of yourself every day is the goal, not to be perfect. You can develop a positive attitude and get rid of self-doubt by recognizing your growth. Musashi's ideas tell us that we can trust ourselves by working hard and being aware of our actions, not by trying to reach an impossible goal. To get rid of all doubt and believe in yourself, you need to be patient, strong, and dedicated to growth at all times. The lessons Miyamoto Musashi taught us are timeless and give us the strength to face life's obstacles with courage and clarity. You can build a life based on self-trust by getting in touch with your core values, being open to uncertainty, acting with confidence, rethinking failure, committing to self-affirmation, letting go of other people's views, and celebrating your own progress. It won't be easy on this road, but it will change the way you think and help you reach your full potential. Remember that true control starts inside, as Musashi taught.